Hey guys, and welcome to another one of my videos. I want to draw Inuyasha characters here as ponies. I don't know why I decided to do this, but I want to see how they would turn out as ponies. Will they be unicorns? Will they be alicorns? Will they just be regular ponies? Well, let's see. So I first started with Inuyasha, and I wanted to capture his cheekiness, like how his personality is, but also kind of in a calm manner. And I wanted to have his fire fox outfit on as well. So I pretty much just tried to draw him as a pony. And I actually thought he kind of had the personality of a Pegasus, because he kind of jumps in the air and flies in the air a little bit. So I made him a Pegasus. I thought that was perfect for him. I think it suits his personality. And then I had to think about a cutie mark. What should I have as his cutie mark? And I struggled with that a little bit. I decided to go with a yin and yang symbol because he's half demon, half human, and he struggles with the demon side and the human side. So I thought, a dark and light side would be a cool cutie mark. I don't know if that was really the right call, but honestly, that's just kind of what I thought and what I went with. The next character I went with was Kagome, and I kind of wanted her to be sitting next to Inuyasha, looking at Inuyasha, just blankly staring at him, I guess. And then as far as a cutie mark for her, I actually just did Shikon jewel shards, since she's all about the Shikon jewel shards. And I thought that really matched her really well, and I thought the pony kind of really represented her. So I went with unicorn with her, and that is because she's a priestess, basically has ancestry of Kikyo, and Kikyo is a priestess. So I just decided to go with unicorn because magical makes sense to me. At first I wasn't thinking about doing the whole gang. It was just going to be Inuyasha, and then I decided to do Kagome, and I'm like, you know what? I might as well do the whole gang. Why not? So then I had to think about what am I going to do for Moroku, Sango, and Shippo. And I was thinking about having Sango whacking Moroku because she gets mad at him for looking at the other ladies, and so I wanted to portray that in this. I made Sango just a regular earth pony, and that's because I just thought she's very earthly, didn't really have a whole lot of magic, and I thought she was really strong like an earth pony, so I kept her an earth pony. And then I made Moroku a unicorn because, again, he's a priest, and it kind of goes with that priestess type. I don't know, I guess I was thinking magic, he uses his magic as wind tunnel, so it just made sense to me to make them these characters. And then Shippo, I actually changed into a Pegasus. You guys will see here in a little bit me drawing Shippo, but I added basically a heart with two swords when it came to Sango, because I felt like she had a big heart, and then of course because of her brother and all of her family being killed from the demons, I felt like that was her cutie mark, was something to do with the heart, and then basically the swords behind it, being that she's a fighter, and then also all she went through and all the pain and suffering. Then Shippo I just made as this cute little cheerful self, and the reason I made him a Pegasus was because he flies in the show. He has foxfire magic. I guess I could have made him a unicorn too, but I decided just to make him a Pegasus just because he typically helps with the flying. I don't know. I just thought, he'd be a cute little Pegasus. Lastly, of course, I added Kilala, and I think I just kept her as is. And that's just because, in the show, My Little Pony, they have dragons and other animals too. So I think Kilala would have just been a Kilala. She would just be her and not a pony. Guys, this art took me a lot longer than I expected it to. I was struggling with turning them into ponies. If I could just draw them straight up, it wouldn't have been so bad. But I think trying to come up with the concept of how they would look as a pony took me a lot longer than I really thought or expected it would have. When I initially thought of this concept, I'm like, oh, this would be really easy. It honestly was not as easy as I thought it would be, just because I have to think about two art styles and how to combine them. It just made it, I don't know, for some reason mentally a little bit more difficult. And then drawing all the characters on top of that actually made it longer because I'm drawing each character. I don't know, it just was a lot longer than I really expected. I'm trying to draw more art lately that like takes a lot less time, and I'm trying to spend less time on the artwork itself and trying to draw more artwork is my goal, but this one is actually taking me quite a bit longer than I expected. And just so you guys know, Inuyasha is very dear to my heart. You know, I've actually drawn Inuyasha before. I think it'd be cool to actually draw him again and animate him. It just was a cartoon I grew up with. When I was younger, I was very fascinated by Inuyasha and like, what is this cool like past demon world? It sounds really, really interesting to me. And so I actually like watching, you know, the show back then. And then I watched the new one, Yashahime, and I really, really loved Yashahime. I thought it was honestly almost like it was just as good, if not better, and actually had a great ending to it. I loved Yashahime. So, like I said, Inuyasha is very dear to my heart, and so I don't know. I probably will draw more art with Inuyasha characters, Inuyasha, and maybe like Yashahime, maybe some of those characters, Shishomaru. I haven't really drawn a whole lot of Shishomaru. I did one a long time ago, and that one did not look great. Here I finished up the line art and then got ready for the coloring part, and that's actually where I currently am. So I pretty much got to this part where I started coloring, and I was gonna try to make the colors pretty simple and pretty flat as possible. I didn't want to do too much blending, but I ended up doing a little bit more blending than I thought. And as I'm coloring this, I'm like thinking, well, what am I gonna do for the background? I mean, I'm trying to think is like, do I just add trees and like lots of bushes, kind of like in the show? I'm just trying to figure out what I wanna do, and I still don't know what I'm gonna do. As I was making this, I was trying to figure out what colors the ponies should be, because ponies are colorful, right? And so I decided to actually make Inuyasha kind of gray, because in my mind, he's very like white and gray. So I basically just made him a white and gray pony with his Firefox outfit. And then with Kagome, I ended up going down the green route, and then I went then to Shippo, and then Shippo is going to be like an orange brown. I was thinking just kind of matches his like, I don't know, little fox demon part of himself. And I think it's all starting to come together. As of now, this is where I stopped. I am trying to figure out what colors I want to make Sango, and the colors that I was thinking about making Moroku. I was thinking about like with Moroku kind of doing the purples and blues, and then Sango, I'm still considering what to do with Sango. Sometimes it's just good just to take a quick little breather and a break from your art and then come back to it later. For Moroku, I decided to kind of make him purple. So I did stick with the blues and I went with the purples with Moroku. And honestly, I didn't really care for his expression, so I ended up changing it in the end. I didn't really like him probably the least. I didn't like his expression or something about him. As far as all the characters I drew, I was not a fan of how I drew him at first. Guys, for lunch, I had this bomb sandwich. It was so good. So I pretty much finished with coloring up the characters. I colored Kilala, and then I also decided to color Sango. I decided to color Sango red, kind of a light red. I kind of thought it went with her outfit, and it went with the heart theme that was her kitty mark. I think it looked good. Honestly, in the end, I don't know. It was a lot more difficult than I thought, like I said. So I think it turned out all right. So after all that, then I decided to do a background, which I used Ghibli style brushes in order to make the cool looking background. I actually was super happy with the background. The Ghibli style brushes made it super easy, and then I didn't really have to draw a whole lot. I thought it turned out pretty good. I'm really happy with this as a whole. Honestly, at first I was kind of frustrated with the piece, and then at the end I think it kind of came together. So guys, honestly, I didn't want to get super detailed with this. I was just trying to have fun and just try to draw something that was a fun, cute little piece. So it's not super detailed. So if y'all were expecting like something that was like magically made, I'm sorry. Like, this was just kind of just a fun piece. I just was attempting and trying, and maybe I'll make more ponies. Maybe I'll try and actually spend more time with the details and make, I don't know, different anime characters. I thought about that too. So here I'm just basically fixing up a bunch of just the excess details, just the little details here and there. And then here you go, voila. So this is the end result for the Inuyasha pony piece. If you guys made it this far, if y'all watched through this, thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you guys like this video, please like and subscribe if you want to see more content just like this. I do all sorts of things, like I do some gaming, I do some art, I do some live 2D. But if you're interested in the art, do subscribe, and guys, don't quit creating.